Hey guys, just 5 days left until the first games of the Champions League this year. Exciting stuff ahead of us just before the World Cup and with many managerial changes in the biggest teams of the year. Let's check out the list of the 10 best teams. Make sure to comment and share. Let's go.
Okay, number 10, Paris Saint-Germain. Why them? Well, first of all, they did really well last year, losing to Barcelona in quarterfinals only on away goals. Second, they actually got stronger in the meantime, keeping Ibrahimovic and Lucas Moura and adding Edinson Cavani. They also enjoy a relatively easy group in the Champions League, which should provide for an easy passage, and a pretty weak competition back home, which should allow them to focus a lot of energy on this year's Champions League. Number 9 on my list is Juventus. Why so low, you might ask? Well, the problem is that the whole Italian club football is now massively behind Spain, Germany and England. And you could see it really clearly last year when Juventus fell very easily to Bayern in the quarterfinals. Juve are Italy's best bet, and they now seem stronger than last year with Tevez and Llorente, but it's still a long shot to match the firepower of Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, for example. And a lot will depend on the form of their phenomenal playmaker, Andrea Pirlo. Now, number 8 on my list is a little bit of a provocation because it's going to be Shakhtar Donetsk. If this shocks you, let me explain that I felt compelled to include at least one Eastern European team on the list. And among Zenit, CSK Moscow and other less powerful teams of the region, Shakhtar actually faces the easiest group and the easiest domestic championship. Funnily enough, they have more Brazilian players in their squad, a full 10, than any other Champions League participant this year. And those Brazilians include Alex Teixeira and Eduardo da Silva. Shakhtar on the list is kind of the vote for the entire Eastern Europe and its capacity to make something big this season. On to number 7, and this will be Manchester City. I must admit I have a limited faith in this team after their previous 2 failed Champions League campaigns, and on top of this, they have a brand new manager, not certain to deliver great results straight away. But they also have a very powerful attack. They lost Tevez and Balotelli, but gained Negredo, Jovetic and Jesus Navas. They're facing Bayern Munich in the group, but if they can beat CSK Moscow, the progression to playoff stage should be rather easy. Okay, let's stay in England and in Manchester for number 6, because this will be Manchester United. If this seems too low to you, please consider they also have a new manager. They haven't made any spectacular transfers this summer, although they did snap Fellaini from Everton in the last moment, and they of course face a very steep competition in the English Premier League, where they are defending the title. I'm pretty sure Man United will reach late rounds of the Champions League this year, but I remain very skeptical of David Moyes' capacity to deliver the final victory already in the first season. Okay, on to the place number 5, where I placed Bayern Munich. Now, Bayern might be the best team in Europe in terms of potential and the quality of play last season, but how many times have you seen a team successfully defend a Champions League title? Yes, you're right, exactly 0. So the odds are really against them, and Pep Guardiola might need some time to get to know the team very, very well. Back home, they face a mortal battle against Borussia for the Bundesliga title. So they're up for multiple challenges this coming season and will have to play their absolute best to make it happen again in the Champions League. Number 4 for me is Barcelona. Again, kind of the same problem for them as for Bayern, Man United and Man City, which is a new manager and the time he needs to gel the team together. At the same time, they got Neymar from Brazil, who is not far away in terms of level of game from Leo Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo if he plays his A-level. If the team of Barcelona clicks once again, it might all work for them just like it did back in 2011. So if number 4 is Barcelona, then number 3 immediately afterwards has to be Real Madrid. They also scored one huge transfer this summer, obviously Gareth Bale, but they also changed managers, and on top of this, they lost a great playmaker in Mesut Özil. As always, much will depend on Cristiano Ronaldo, and this time around on his ability to cooperate well with Bale. And unlike Barcelona, I think they actually lack a little bit of quality among forwards. Number 2 on my list is occupied by Borussia Dortmund. There's one huge difference between them and the previous 5 teams on the list, which is they actually retained their manager, so this piece of the puzzle is kind of not missing or taken care of. After last season's narrow defeat to Bayern in the Wembley final, they are more hungry than anyone for the final success, and their only transfer loss, Mario Götze, was impressively replaced by Aubameyang. If Jurgen Klopp can motivate the Yellow Boys once again, sky is the limit. And finally, number 1 on my list, my top favorite for the Champions League victory is Chelsea. Why? Well, first of all, they seem to be, to me, by far the most balanced team, maybe next to Borussia, and also the widest bench currently in European football. Just look at their midfield. Lampard, Ramirez, Mata, Hazard, Obi Mikel, Oscar, De Bruyne, Van Ginkel, Willian, Essien and Schürrle. You could basically put 3 powerful midfield lines out of this. And sure, they do have a new coach, but the one who actually isn't really new. Mourinho just took a 5-year break from managing Chelsea and knows the key players of the team quite well. So if I had to pick one winners of this year's Champions League just before it starts, it would be Chelsea.